Welcome to another Quantum Conversation, brought to you by AcousticHealth.com. I'm Loren Gailey, and I invite you to sit back as we enter the quantum realm, that space of the greater part of you. It is your connection to infinite possibilities, infinite potential, and infinite mastery. Welcome to this quantum conversation. We are going multidimensional as we go to the Lightship, City of Light in the fifth dimension. My guest today is Charlotte Shanti, and she is someone who has been working with the energy frequencies. She is the creator of energy frequency tuning, and you may already be feeling the beings in the City of Light. Hi, Charlotte. Thank you for being here. Welcome.
Thank you very much, Lauren. Thank you for having me and the City of Light. We're really excited to share the energies and frequencies with you.
Before we get into our conversation, I'm going to ask you a few details about how you got started in this, but this is really an experiential. We're going to see what comes through with these energies. Would you like to bring us into the City of Light right now?
I would love to do that. So if you just feel the energy that you are sitting in right now, it's the common energy field for Lauren and for me that you are experiencing right now. So what I'm going to do is to change the frequency. I'm going to change the dimension, and we're going to enter the fifth dimension and the Lightship, City of Light. And we are already here. Maybe you can sense that the energy changed. There is now something extra. Maybe you notice that the space is vaster. Maybe you notice a presence. This Lightship, City of Light consists of beings from this galaxy, from parallel galaxies, from this universe and parallel universes. And they are here with us today. There are many different types of beings because you are here, you are watching, either live or on replay. So they are here. We are inside the Lightship, City of Light, and they are very curious to meet us, just as much as we are curious to meet them. What they would like to do is to give you a balancing, an experience. So if you just like to lean back in your chair and just allow yourself to feel the energies. And allow yourself to sense that the star beings are actually very close to you right now. This Lightship has been available, so to say, since November 2014. Me and some friends were doing some energy work, and we suddenly realized that a portal was opening up to a big energy called the Golden Child energy. It came from a parallel universe where the golden ones live. And this stream, this golden stream, started streaming into our universe and to Earth. And after a couple of days, I realized that it was fueling a lightship. So if you look behind me, there is a yellow drawing. That's a way of trying to describe what the golden child energy does. It holds this lightship together. And all the rooms you see are actually departments where different beings come and exchange, collaborate, and prepare healing and energies and frequencies for Earth and all the beings on Earth on ascension. Ren, can you sense that we are in the presence of or inside the lightship?
Yes, there is a lightness that I feel, and there's words that escape me. There's like no thoughts here. There's definitely no judgment. And so I find that I can come and go very quickly, like slip back into the mental space. But if I just hang out, I feel at one point that beings were touching my heart in the front and the back. Very, very interesting. And this is what makes us multi-dimensional. What's interesting is that we may not even, this may be happening to us, and we may not even be aware of it. Do you think that's possible? That we're in these energies, that these energies could be influencing us and we're not aware of it?
Oh, definitely. Because they are all inherent in us, just ready to be activated. We've been here before, so it's already in our system, and for various reasons it was closed down. It was put away after we closed Lemuria, for instance, and Atlantis. A lot of this was closed down, but now we are opening up again. And the abilities that we are now embracing are, they're not new to us. And yes, I think a lot of people are unconscious about this.
Mm-hmm.
And this is one of the things that Lightship, City of Light, really wants to convey to everybody now, is that the 20 dimensions are now open. The 5th dimension is open for us to enter the golden age. It's prepared for us. It's open. We just have to move in the right direction and evolve as an individual and as a planet. And then everything automatically comes into the 5th dimension. But now we can consciously choose to have a 5th dimensional viewpoint. And we can intentionally change the frequency in the room or within ourselves and enter this space. As you said, you can go into the space and you can leave the space again. And it's all in the mind. It's a switch that we have to learn to use. And so when we learn to open up to the 5th dimension, the whole dimensional system opens up. And now there are 20 dimensions or aspects, you might say, that we can tap into.
That is what makes us multidimensional. So your understanding of the various dimensions, is there a feeling for each of those? Is there a sense that you've developed for each of those? How would we even begin to understand that we're in those dimensions? Do we see timelines from those dimensions? These are big questions, but just curious on all of this.
It all started for me with the book by Barbara Hand-Clough, where she explains the first 10 dimensions, and she's got a very scientific approach to it also. She takes her own spirituality, and she has looked on on science and put those two together. And I have some work from the 11th to the 20th dimension together with the City of Light. And the first 4 dimensions are actually connected to our physical body. The first dimension is connected to our blood and the iron in our blood. This iron in our blood is the same iron as is inside the iron core of Earth. It's been scientifically proven that Earth itself has an iron core. And we know that inside our blood, we have iron. And so the first dimension on a macro cosmos level is that it's the same iron. And the energies can be synchronized so that we are, through the iron in our blood, directly connected to the iron core of Earth. And just imagine what it does to you and your understanding of yourself and the whole world when these two things come together and are synchronized. And it's the same with all the 20 dimensions, that you will find that they are directly connected to something either physical or emotional or spiritually. Like the 11th dimension is connected to Lyra, and it evolves our crystalline energy system. So we have to go from a carbon-based energy system to a crystalline energy system in the future. And this is where we can work actively with the 11th dimension and the Lyrans to evolve our crystalline energy system. So working with the dimensional system is a giant exploration into your own reality, but it also connects you to the universe. I can see the beings from City of Light. They are cheering. I don't know if you can feel that feeling, but they are so excited to talk about this and to convey this message. This is basically why they are here as a lightship, in order to teach us on our ascension, how we can easily fine-tune our energy system and use the dimensional system. The lightship is physically in the 5th dimension. That's just outside the atmosphere. And if they came any closer, we would call it a UFO. But the other perspective is lightship. And they are placed in the 5th dimension, so close to our atmosphere, because a lot of people already now are so evolved that if they know how, they can easily tap into the 5th dimensional energies and frequencies.
And that's part of your mission, is to assist people into tapping into these frequencies and energies. Are there places on the planet where it's easier, or can people do it from anywhere? We can access the fifth dimension. It's already within us, right? And so
Yeah.
just attention allows us to be there.
It's a very difficult question, because what is it that makes things work? Because something is in the mind, something is what kind of spirituality have you been practicing? How evolved is your energy system? How is your ability to take on new techniques and make use of them? So it's not a simple answer, but what I'm trying to do is to make it very, very simple. And one of the methods that we use in the City of Light is coded crystal tools. Because, for instance, when I'm talking now, you relate to me, how I look, how my sound, how my voice sounds. You pick up on all sorts of things, and that could be a good thing, but it could also hold you back. So we use coded crystal tools, because then all the energies and frequencies are not coming from me, but they are coming directly from the City of Light. I can show you the crystal tool for the 11th dimension that I was talking about just now. It's an Australian print stone that I have taken into the 5th dimension, the Lightship City of Lights. And together with them, we have gathered information about the 11th dimension and put in some process also, and put it into this crystal. So now all the energies are away from my energy system, and they are coming directly from the City of Light to whoever has this crystal in their hand. And that means that this is a totally different way of communicating and teaching about energies and frequencies. Because now it's not so much me, it's the crystal and the City of Light who are teaching you. And I think it's not a new technology. We've used this technology before. Some of you who are watching can maybe remember this from Lemuria or Atlantis. You've done this before.
And that would explain our affinity to crystals, why so many of us are drawn to crystals. So, you know, like I've got one here and so many around me. Can you explain? Well, let's see. I don't want to say, can you explain? Because that's taking me out of this 5th dimension, isn't it? Whenever I say explain the 5th dimension.
Well, actually, this City of Light teaches, and they know that in order to teach humans, we also have to use our words and do some explaining. So there are some things that I, to some extent, can explain. And then I always listen to, while I'm explaining, I'm listening to what the City of Light are saying. But if I think, I think I know what you're going to ask or would like to ask.
Okay, good. Go ahead.
You can always ask me afterwards.
Yeah.
Okay. So we have a print stone from Australia. And this, when it's not coded, it has inherent crystalline beings that are dedicated to conveying printstone energy. And if you have a quartz, it has inherent quartz beings that are dedicated to convey quartz energy. So the crystals are just as different as we humans are. And what we do in the City of Light when we code a crystal is to connect with the inherent beings and asking them if they would like to add a mission to not only being what they are, printstone energies, for instance, but also to convey the 11th dimension to Earth and human beings. So it's a collaboration. And the printstone beings have said, yes, we'd love to do that job, so to speak. And then they carry the extra coding as well as they are themselves at the same time. So what I find is it's a very loving way, it's a very including way of working with energies and frequencies. So the beings are still here. So that's that's a different way of doing it. But as I said before, we've done it all before. We just have to remember how we did it.
So when we're working with the City of Light, how would an individual do this?
Yeah. In all the pictures, for instance, I have of City of Light on the website, and here is coded the address to how to enter the City of Light. And it's totally free. You don't have to ask permission. You don't have to do anything besides being yourself and having the ability to pick up on the energy with the invitation to enter the City of Light, and then everything is open to you. So it's quite easy if you can do it, if you know what I mean.
Okay.
So this is where it sort of takes some abilities.
What kind of abilities? Clairvoyance, clairaudience, sensitivity in that way?
Yeah, definitely. But apart from that, it's just being you with what you are.
Imagination.
Yeah.
That is the communication through the imagination. The imagination comes from somewhere, right? Is it coming from the beings in the City of Light?
I think that could be one way of communicating. They have many, many different ways of communicating. So maybe with you, it's your, what did you call it? Sorry, I forgot the word.
Imagination?
Imagination, yeah, thank you. So maybe they would use that way of communicating with you through imagination. Whereas with somebody else, they would be using a touch that would be meaningful to that person.
Okay.
Or clairvoyance, which is, many people have that. But what we find, or I find, working with this City of Light is that there are many, many different ways of communicating. And I think that's lovely, because that really opens up to that everybody can join. It doesn't require for you to be able to hear or see or sense anything in the traditional sense. They will go to quite far to try and communicate in a way that you will understand. I was thinking maybe we should, if with your permission, take a moment to say that those who are watching either live or on replay, just lean into the energy now. And then I promise you, City of Light will do whatever they can to convey a message to you in a way that you will understand. And I don't know, should we ask a question that then could maybe be answered to those who are watching?
Yes. All right. I know that one of the big questions or themes coming up for people is stepping into new levels of service. Stepping into new levels of service. So maybe this is support for that. How can we step into new levels of service? What needs to be done? What action steps can we take?
That's a lovely question. Okay, City of Light got it. So if you just lean into the energy, just allow City of Light to talk directly to you. They are there with you now. Okay. If there is somebody out there who is not really picking up on anything it's right now, it's okay. I have a special message for you from the City of Light. They say, just be yourself. It's okay. All is well.
It's really beautiful. And it's helping each of us understand higher dimensions. And that practice right there is an illustration of tuning into the higher dimensions. So I heard very clearly there's nothing to do but to be in the higher frequencies. That is the next level of service. And it evolved. This message I'm saying right now is my decoding of the energies. And so I'm saying it different. I had to take a little note here because it unraveled for me. But this is our service. Our service is to leave the lower, not to leave the lower, but to access more of the other dimensions in everything that we do. So that was very interesting. And I know that there are others that may have experiences that they felt, but then others may not have felt anything. And so what would you suggest for this? Is it really the feeling, reaching into the feeling and being sensitive to that? And this is how we develop our energy systems.
I think that just accepting yourself for what you are is most important, being the best edition of yourself. What I find with the City of Light is that there are no demands. You don't have to be in a specific way, apart from being yourself, which we know can be a job. But I think it's so simple, and everybody can join at this level. It's okay just to be yourself. I hope I don't disappoint anybody, but it really is that simple.
Right. And again, this is taking us out of the mind, which the mind
Yeah.
really wants us to quantify it, qualify it, describe it, tell us more about it, all of that. And so let's talk more about the beings that are assisting us. These could be all types of beings. How would we identify, again, our imagination? But when I wanted to just say as well that when we were going through that process, I also heard or was shown many other instances where that connection is within us and where we do get the information when we take steps in our lives, whether we're toning or assisting someone else, or we hear voices like believe, things like this, that they're already working with us. We're already accessing those dimensions at that time. So when you say just be yourself, be open to the information, be open to the other dimensions. And what's interesting is in the fifth dimension, there's no room for judgment whatsoever at all, or in the other dimensions. And these are the fourth and the third and the mind dimension that we have to graduate from or put on a side seat over here as we sense into these other energies and frequencies.
I totally agree. And what is also interesting is that the fourth dimension, that is the mind and the collective consciousness, is that we don't have to say never mind. We don't have to forget our minds. We have to be balanced in our minds. Like the Buddha who found the golden path, because in the fourth dimension there is duality. And in order for things to evolve, there has to be duality. So we don't have to move away from our minds, but more focus on being balanced. And I really like that perspective, because I think in some spiritual senses we have been told you're not allowed to feel so and so and so, or you should remove yourself from the body, not have too much focus on it. But when we work with the dimensional system, it's the other way around. You have to include your physical body. You have to include your mind. So it's more holistic, I think.
Can you tell us what you sense when you include your physical body? with this and your mind?
Well, that's a way of accepting having a body, accepting having been born on this planet. I experience a lot of people who don't feel comfortable on Earth. They would rather be on Venus or Orion or someplace else, who get frustrated about the news or what happens around them. And I find working with the dimensional system, you are more able to be in this world, accepting it, even though things are hard to look at and hard to be in. But it gives you a whole different support to being human. And when you accept being a human, you can much better live out your life mission. That's what I hear from the City of Light. That's really a turning point. When you accept your body, you accept your mind and your feelings, then you are more able to fulfill your life mission, because we are here. And if we don't like it this way, this turn, well, you get another turn. Yeah. Did that answer your question?
Yes. So the next question would be, how would each of us work? I know you've got courses, you're a teacher as well of this topic, but how would we begin to work with these other dimensions and use these other dimensions to affect change on our planet and within ourselves?
The first thing is I would really recommend Barbara Ann Close's book, because that's a very clever book. But the way we work in the Lightship City of Light is through the coded crystals. So that would be one way of working with the dimensions. That would be to work directly with the crystals and evolve. Or if you like, you can participate in one of my courses where I take you through the different dimensions. The City of Light now mentioned to me that a lot of people who are watching these conversations, they already do a lot of activations. So they should be more focused on the part in the activations that has to do with the dimensional system. Because that's one way of remembering how to use the dimensional system. Does that make sense?
Well, the question would be, what are the crystals for the dimensions? And this is part of the course that you teach as well. Much more information than we have time for in our show.
Yeah.
But it comes from the crystals. Again, these are coded crystal jewels with the information.
Yeah. Again, coded crystals that are coded in a light ship like the City of Light are eminent to convey energies and frequencies and to teach in a way that any energy system would understand it, because it's not solely my energies that are into the crystals. That would be very limiting, but it's the energies and frequencies from the light ship that consists of all these different beings that all have a saying about the coding of the 11th dimension, for instance. So that if you, for instance, pick up the crystal for 11th dimension, then it will seek out what kind of energy system do you have? What level is it on? Not that there's any higher or lower, but how can we communicate with your energy system? And then it'll start vibrating, it'll start contacting your energy system and nudging it to activate and remember things about the 11th dimension that is already there in your DNA system.
Do we have to hold these crystals? Do they have to be in our presence, or can we etherically work with them?
You can definitely work etherically with them, but I always recommend that you start by doing it physically, holding them in your hand, because then you are certain to get all the details right. Because I'm sure you and I can agree that we don't need coated crystals, we don't need any artifacts at all, but they are useful. It's like the ABC. And then when we do remember and we integrate what we remember and we start practicing, then we can put the crystals aside and then be the crystal. Because the crystals teach our energy system how to convey different energies and frequencies. You see?
Yes.
So it's a teaching method like a book.
Yeah. And so no wonder why we're drawn to different crystals. And great Hawaiian kahunas have said, if there is a rock that you and for a while there was some people who said, oh, if you pick up a lava stone from Hawaii, you'll get bad luck. And the kahunas I've spoken to say, no, that is that is a misquote, because because that rock or that crystal or the rock or the stone actually has a message for you and wants you to do that. And so we're taking this on a multi-dimensional aspect now. And so in Lemuria and Atlantis, we do remember working with the crystals. So this is opening us up back to those memories. And it should make all of us eager to go further in this and to feel into it more. So it's a journey. Definitely. How long does it take to do this? I don't want to put that into such a third and fourth dimensional question.
It only takes a moment if you are prepared.
Okay, to receive information.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I find it so interesting that you mentioned the kahunas of Hawaii, because they are really so evolved. I mean, it's unbelievable. And the 13th dimension is situated on Kauai, Hawaii. There are 2 vibrational portals there where we, when we first had to inhabit Earth, we used the vibrational portals on Kauai together with the Arcturians, and the kahunas on Kauai and Hawaii are in direct contact with the Arcturians and have been it for, maybe you already know this. It's fantastic. So I love the way you talk about the lava. I could just feel, wow. Yeah, that is so great.
And I know that there are people who are being called to different areas of the planet. Is there a reason for that? And oftentimes they'll ask, should I go to this other place on the planet? What is your understanding of that? What's happening for people when you get the calling to go somewhere.
I'm just trying to listen to what City of Light has to say about this. Well, it's multi-purpose, they say. One thing is that it's always good to travel. But in a practical sense, you might have been there before, and you might have left some codes that would be important for you to encounter again and to reactivate.
That definitely explains why when things come together so easily, synchronicities, that's part of the plan, right? That's part of so we look at that. And likewise, when things don't come together so easily, we have to pay attention to that too, and maybe let it go.
Because now the City of Light is mentioning the pandemic where we couldn't travel. And then we had to look inward. We had to do the work from within and understand we don't always have to move our physical body in order to reactivate the codes that are left different places on Earth. I don't know, I never thought about this before, but I think it makes sense.
Yes, it makes perfect sense. And it was almost as if that was a graduation for us. We saw a lot of people go inward and express love and make shifts in their lives towards love and the higher frequencies in this past couple of years. That's the good side. Of course, there were some that kind of looked at the fourth dimensional side of it, and we encourage everyone to kind of rise up above that and not be in the 4D because it'll drag us down. So anchoring fully in these higher frequencies, that's again what your mission is when you work with the City of Light. So this is a great time. Tell us about the courses that you offer for people to work with you. You've got a couple. The first one is coming up, and that's a single event. What's going to go on here?
Well, the first thing I have made for you as an offer is an energy frequency tuning with the Andromedans, where we go to the Rainbow Bridge in the 15th dimension. We travel over the Rainbow Bridge to the Andromeda galaxy, where we meet with the Andromedans and receive an energy frequency tuning based on your energy system. So this is one of the things that's possible. And then I do courses in the 20 dimensions online, on live and replay. I've done them many times already, and you are now invited also if that's calls on you. I would be very happy to have you also join me there. Yeah, and I do many different courses. I've been teaching for a few years, and as I said, this Lightship is very keen on teaching various things.
To tune into the energies and to feel these dimensions within our body and our being. It's very intriguing, and we are enticed for it. Is there anything else you want to say about the 20 dimensions, the course on the 20 dimensions? Because that one, I can sense we're ready for that. We want that.
We are so ready. And no, just when you feel the energies here in the Lightship, City of Light, and you think, I should know about these dimensions, just please sign up. It doesn't take any special abilities beforehand. I will take you through the whole process, and the Lightship will be with you also. And it's really simple. Yeah. The City of Light said, just join us. We've got a lovely sense of humor.
And it would be interesting to hear comments from those who are watching or listening to this. Please send us an email, or in the chat box where you're watching this, you can certainly share your comments and what you feel. And not be so tough on yourself if you don't feel anything, because that's the mental mind. I want to stress again that that's the mental mind coming in. But I can feel a shift. And this is where it's almost, I don't want to say a war between my heart and my mind, but this has placed me fully in my heart. And that's a different structure to work within and to speak on a conversation. The conversation from a journalistic point of view would be, tell us more about this. Where do we go? What is this? Details, details, details. But this is a feeling sense. And so are you sensing any beings in particular who are with us right now? I always have I don't want to say a struggle. There's no struggle, but I always have, I'm not the best at identifying the beings who are working with me, but they're very familiar. So that's something to pay attention to as well. Are these beings that could be working with us frequently and we just might not know it, or all along the way and we just don't know it?
Yeah, because what we have to remember is that things that we are very familiar with, we don't really notice. We only notice things that we are not familiar with. So if an energy enters this room and we are not synchronized with that energy, we haven't met it before, we will notice it is there. But if an energy that we know very well enters the room, we might not notice.
Yes.
Because we're synchronized. But the Syrians are very close. They are sort of up front right now. They work with sacred geometry, patterns, systems. Yeah.
And that would also be the dolphins and the whales.
Yeah, definitely.
And just our experiences of seeing dolphins and whales in nature, or even on a video, actually brings us into those dimensions.
Yeah.
So when you look at our world, as we close our conversation, when you look at our world doing this work that you do, share with us that vision that you have.
The vision of this City of Light and for my life mission is to teach people about the dimensional system in a way that they can use it in their everyday life, to teach people that they are perfect as they are on their path, and that we can all join this ascension. We are our own teachers, but we can draw a lot of experience from communicating, from collaborating with each other, learn to understand and respect people who are very different from ourselves. Yeah, so being multidimensional and being able to embrace other people. I sense that the City of Light are sort of drawing back now. Maybe you sense that also. Before they do, I just want to say to you, if, like Lauren said, if you don't feel very much from this session, you can always watch it again, but switch off the sound and just lie down and just allow the energies to work. That could be a way for you to sense something. So that's another way of using this.
I feel that in my body right now as you said that.
Yeah.
Wow. And I do admit, when I host conversations, I'm in my head, and this has really taken me into my heart. And it's interesting to articulate from this way, but there's a softness, and this feels like solution energy, creativity, imagination, peace, harmony. Oh, and I want to cry. There's so much beauty.
And what I love about it is that we are both conscious. We're both here. It's not we're in the fifth dimension, but we are here.
We're here.
We can think, we can feel. Yeah.
And so we invite our viewers and listeners to, again, return to this video and tune into it again with the sound off, perhaps, and join Charlotte in these classes that she's offering us to teach us more about the dimensional energies that we have access to, and also to step into this new way of being, of our multidimensionality. It really is beautiful. And again, there's such a softness to it. So be in the world, but don't be of it. That's a message I get very clearly right here. But be in the world with this vibration. Be in the world with these dimensions that we can access. And we're going to get better and better at the information. So if this is new for people, it may really have them in their heads, like, what is going on? But again, as you mentioned, and the City of Light mentioned, that there are people who are watching this that totally get this, and they're having a different experience. So that's where the comments coming from our viewers would be really helpful for everyone. And Charlotte, I want to thank you for your presence and your beauty and light, because you've helped us all tune in and shift up in a beautiful, incredible way.
Thank you very much, Lauren. It's been a pleasure, and thank you for this opportunity. The City of Light thanks you for this opportunity. And they say, we are here. Just come and join us. You're welcome.
And I feel that in my energy field, and I don't want to let it go, and I'm not going to let it go. I think the rest of us can carry on the rest of our day, really attuned to this, and notice what happens.
Definitely. Enjoy.
Enjoy. Charlotte, Shanti, thank you so much. Is there anything you'd like to say as we say goodbye?
Just thank you very much for the opportunity. It's been wonderful. It's been wonderful meeting you, Lauren. Really.
Thank you again. And thank you everyone for watching and exploring this with us. There's more to explore with Charlotte, and we hope you join us. The details are all here on the special offer button that's on this page. And we're looking forward to seeing you. Thank you. Thank you, Charlotte. Namaste.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you for listening to this quantum conversation, and thank you for dancing with us to the cosmic heart as we raise our own vibration we raise the vibration of the planet. This show is dedicated to you and all awakening hearts as we are here to shine our bright light and amplify our love. Access all quantum conversations, special offers from our guests, and online healing retreats by visiting acoustichealth.com. I'm Loren Gailey, and from my sacred heart to yours, I honor your magnificent love and light. We leave you now with music from the universe. Music literally created by the universe as musical notes were assigned to mathematical equations. The result is this beautiful music available at acoustichealth.com. Namaste.